What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer back with another Division 2 upload, and today I just wanted to cover a few topics surrounding the Division and in general vent about the leagues. But before we begin, if you haven't yet smashed that sub button, please do so, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another upload notification from my YouTube channel. You can also support my channel by watching this entire video, rating and sharing the video, and of course, dropping a comment. Alright, let's get this one started. Okay, so the first topic up for discussion are these Langley files that a data miner has found within the game, and people are saying that these are hinting towards the possibility of a European Division 3. I actually saw this on Epic Slayer's video. I stay in contact with Epic. We kind of communicate via DMs and things like that. And I recommend you go and check out his channel, especially if you want to see those. I'm not actually going to read those here on stream. I will leave a link both to Epic Slayer's video, and if you would just want to read them word for word, the Reddit post by the data miner. I don't really see these as spoilers for the game. That's why I'm actually just discussing it right now. Like, I'm not going to read them, but I don't feel they're actual spoilers. But anyway, I think there's a set of 10 comms. It's actually a script of a conversation between Sarah, who is President Ellis's assistant, and President Ellis, and she's basically reading these, which are probably just like field agent files by CIA agents, and that's why they're probably called the Langley Files, because the CIA headquarters is actually located in Langley, Virginia. But anyway, Sarah's reading these. President Ellis is making just these racist, sarcastic, asshole-ish remarks back at Sarah, and they're about each region of the world. So there's like one for Russia, and there's one for Japan and India, etc., etc., etc. There are a few, interesting, I guess, implications in there. The fact that as the world kind of collapsed, things that we didn't really think about because they're not really discussed in the game is, especially for weapons that, that countries that had nuclear weapons, what was going to happen to those, whose hands were they going to fall into? And they're kind of hinted in those Langley files a little bit. Once again, you can go watch Epic's video. You can go read it over on Reddit. I personally don't think this is anything hinting at a Division 3 European division. I'd love that idea. I'd love to be in a European country or Japan or, somewhere with mountains or just something really wild taking our agents into. But I don't think these Langley files indicate that. If anything, maybe they're just setting up another small DLC that may be coming. Kind of like when we got Coney Island. Maybe this is something for Langley. But yeah, like I said, go check out Epic's video. Go read it for yourself. I personally don't think there's a whole lot of there, if you know what I mean. But they're interesting, and I recommend that you check them out. Okay, so moving on, and this is kind of where I'm going to start this venting portion of the video, because I got to the point where I just needed to unload a little bit, and this is concerning leagues. Now, I wanted to give leagues a fair chance. I enjoyed the GEs on Division 1 quite well. I mean, they were really well done, but these leagues have just started to pick at me and pick at me and pick at me like a scab that you just keep picking off and it just keeps bleeding. That's kind of how leagues are, I guess, making me feel at this point. This last league, the Kestrel League, first off, and this is coming from somebody that, maybe I am a hardcore, but, I like a game that everyone can play, from casuals up to just the, the MLG legits. I want the Division 2 to be that game for all those people. But I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody that maybe I'm, high-level casual to low-level hardcore, I'm going to tell you that these leagues, especially the Kestrel League, was insanely easy. Okay, and it was just boring, and it just became downright laborious, if you know what I mean. The times for the top, the top level, top tiers on the missions were way too high. For instance, I think it was 14 minutes on Jefferson Trade Center, or Jefferson, that mission. And I put a speedrun video up on my channel where I did it in 5:11 solo on hard. there's just no challenges, and it's just this Kestrel League. It just reminded me of being like 4th grade, and the teacher had, you know, some sort of report that they were working on or something, and so they just gave you this huge packet of paperwork to do, and it was called busy work, which was basically designed to do just that, make you all shut up because there was 400 pages of multiple choice questions you had to work through, and they all had to be finished before you could go to lunch or something like that. It was just busy work. That's what Kestrel League felt like to me. It felt like busy work. The missions, I ran them through with 3 other Duck members, I think earlier this week. We blitzed them. We finished all the missions on the required difficulty, which was hard, and it maybe took us 25 minutes total between all the missions to finish them up. A DUA, I think we finished in like 10 minutes or something like that, and they gave you 25 for top tier or something like that. It was insane. I'm not saying that we go back to those days when we had DARPA on heroic in less than 15 minutes, and you know, that made people sweat a little bit. You had to really work for that one. But we've gone from that, which exposed, you know, and basically highlighted those really high level players that were the only ones that were able to complete it, and everyone else struggled to get it done. And now we've gone 180 degrees from that, and these leagues are just stupidly easy. They don't really do much to challenge the players, other than when you get to those, you know, those total requirements of 250 disorients and, you know, 500 of this. Those take a little bit of time, but once again, they're not very challenging. If anything, like, I don't know if the devs are still working on the game or if this is all just in the game right now and they've moved on. I'd like to see some ability to adjust rewards or something like that based on difficulty. Just don't make it, all right, you got 14 minutes to finish this on hard and that's the only level. Why don't we go and have one for challenging and say, hey, you get 16 minutes for top tier on challenging, and maybe for heroic it's 20 minutes, something like that. Give us the ability to customize it other than just put it on hard difficulty and finish in less than 14 minutes. And I'm going to say right now, and I don't want to sound condescending or elitist in any way when I say this, if you are not finishing, if you've been playing this game and let's say you have a watch rank of 200 or more, or 250, 300 or more, if you are not finishing Jefferson Plaza or whatever that trade center mission, if you're not finishing that mission in less than 14 minutes with a rank of 200, I mean, I think you should be able to do it even before then. But at 200 or more, if you're not able to finish in that time, you need to evaluate your play style then. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that this is, you know, like I'm not trying to sound condescending. I'm not trying to sound like an elitist. But if you're not finishing in those times, you need to look yourself in the mirror and maybe adjust your play style, maybe adjust your build, something like that, because those are insanely easy. And I just found that this whole Kestrel League, when I finish it up, and I finished it up today, I'll probably show you some footage in a little bit, you know, when I get the backpack trophy, I just kind of looked at the screen and I folded my hands and I was just like, what the hell did I just do? Because I just spent the time to get all of those disorients and those, you know, those bag pops on the Spice Girls and things like that to get those done. Ran around with my Scorpio with Hunter's Fury, just blasting untold amounts of targets to get those staggers in. Like I said, these leagues have done nothing other than that one that we had, like I said, where I forgot the actual title name of it, but you all remember when we had a complete DARPA on heroic and people were struggling. I actually put a speed run up when I was with Like a Hero. But other than that, these leagues have just been busy work, and this needs to be reevaluated, at least in my professional opinion. It needs to be reevaluated, and we need some different tier levels so that higher and higher and higher level players can challenge themselves and maybe get some exclusive rewards for engaging with that challenge. Okay, so final topic up for today, and this is going to be, I guess, a continuation of the leagues, but in general, I wanted to discuss how I have found the seasons. So GE and leagues just seem to for me, add grind on top of a game that's already pretty grindy. Now, besides Golden Bullet, which I was only able to play briefly as I was taking some time off, the GEs have just not been very interesting, and all they really do is slow down the pace of the gameplay. Seasons, for me, have acted as a means to just charge players for cosmetics under the guise of exclusive in-game items, when you get that premium reward track. And leagues, besides the one that required you to complete DARPA on Heroic, which I already discussed, have been made way too easy. Coming from a member of the community, that's me, that believes all players deserve a chance to complete these and do so in the time allotted. I know many times in these videos where I vent a little bit, I kind of harken back to the days of Division 1, but global events for me in Division 1 were really well done. When you had to go in and they had those gear sets as part of it, remember the classified gear sets, and you would go in and you would hit those GEs so that you could get enough tokens so you could purchase the caches and then open them, and then hopefully you could complete your classified gear set. It really gave you something, and there was all sorts of little commendations and masks and all sorts of just cool stuff for completionists to chase after, which I don't find any of that in the seasons or the leagues. It's just, complete these 4 missions and this a lot of time, go out and kill 500 of these, go out and, hit 500 weak points, and you get a backpack trophy. I just believe that there was so much more that could have been done for this. And I'm saying seasons in general, because within the seasons, you've got the GEs, you've got the leagues. I just think that even the manhunt targets, the missions have just been the same missions. Here's Space Administration with the same exact level, bosses and mechanics and everything that we've got, etc., etc., etc. And then, you finish all those up, and then you got 10 control points that you do, and then you do like 5 bounties. I'm just making this up off the top of my head. And then you got to go do this mission, and you got to do this mission, and then all of a sudden you get to go to the boss encounter, which is actually just a bounty. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's a bounty. And you go and you drop this boss, and you're like, yeah. I'm like at a loss for words with this. I mean, where do you go with these? I don't understand how the global events were just, in my humble opinion, were poorly done, and then recycled for Season 2, and then into Season 3. Anyway, the only one that I think anyone really embraced and enjoyed was, Golden Bullet. And if you really look at why that is, why did people enjoy playing Golden Bullet? I'm just going to spell it out for you. Because it made people play in a different manner, and when they did play in that manner, it made them extraordinarily powerful. And if any lesson could be drawn from Golden Bullet by Massive, by Ubisoft, and even by the Division community, and I'm saying us in general, is that we like the ability, we like the challenge. We as players like the challenge. We like having to get outside of our comfort zones, and we like to be rewarded by making us feel even more powerful. I mean, that is just an awesome formula for success there. I'm more than happy to, strap on a rifle and the Nemesis and go just full glass cannon, just, to see how much I can max it out on Golden Bullet or something like that. That was really cool. Versus, we've got this, these mechanics where I'm trying to think of what happens. Like, remember the armor was transferred between the different players, or what was the one that Guardian? That was the one. That was the one I was thinking of. I was like, damn, what's that one that I really hated? Where Guardian, where the Guardian would hang out and hide in the back, and all the rushers would come running up to you with the batons and the shotguns, and you couldn't do anything versus them because the one person you had to down, the Guardian, was hiding way in the back. And I was like, what is the purpose of this? From all of those, I did not enjoy any of those until we hit Golden Bullet, because Golden Bullet made us play in a specific play style, but when we were rewarded. When we played in that play style, we were rewarded with massive damage output, and it made you just feel like a badass. Those are the kind of events, those are the kind of seasons that games in general need. Create this environment where you need to play in this different play style, and then reward the player base with something that they can really enjoy, which in this case is huge damage output. And in a game where we constantly feel underpowered, our armor is shredded constantly by red bars, health doesn't matter at all. And if you want to put out damage, you have to invest completely into reds. Or, you know, if you want skills and you go basically completely, I mean, there's different versions of it, but you go completely into skill tier. I mean, you have to go just so concentrated into one of those areas so that you can do exactly what you want to do. And then, you know, we're used to just getting fried by, you know, challenge difficulty, heroic difficulty, legendary difficulty, whatever it is, because, you know, their weapons just seem to just do immense amounts of damage to our armor versus us, you know, shooting one of them and it takes, you know, 30, 40, 50 million before we even break their armor. So that was the kind of global event. And in general, that should be the formula. That should be the equation for any of these events going forwards. Do we make the players play in a different play style? And if they play in that play style, do we reward them handsomely with, you know, massive damage output or something like that? Those are the kind of global events that need to be going forward, not these ones that are either too difficult for all but 5% of the player base, like DARPA on Heroic, or so insanely easy that it causes me, who is I'm an inclusionist. I want to see everybody do really well in this game. It even has me saying on a video, these are too easy, and if you're not able to complete these in these times allotted, then we need to reevaluate, number one, should you be playing the Division 2, but you know, more importantly, your play style and maybe just your overall you know, once again, I'm not trying to sound elitist, but maybe your overall skill set is just lacking too much to handle these times, because you should be able to nail these times. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's video, and as always, I look forward to reading your feedback in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that sub button and click on the bell icon to never miss a future upload notification from my YouTube channel. If you liked the video, rate it with a thumbs up, if not with a thumbs down. Links to support my content creation outside of YouTube include Patreon and Teespring, both of those links in the video description below. Follow me on Twitter for all my latest thoughts on most things gaming related, and until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.